What is there to celebrate today on July 4th, 2025, when the very reasons we fought to free ourselves from that tyranny are being challenged by the very people we have empowered, dismantling the very system that up until 6 months ago was put in place in order to make sure that no one man ever had the kind of unchecked power to wreak havoc upon the peoples of a nation. The Declaration of Independence wasn't simply stating their independence. It was a list of reasons why declaring our independence had become necessary. It sounds exactly like what we're dealing with now, although I would argue in some very real respects, what we're dealing with now is worse, because it suggests untold millions of people who sacrificed their lives, and in some cases their livelihoods, is in vain. Quote, he, and this is referring to King George III, has refused his assent to laws the most wholesome and necessary for the public good, unquote. In his first 6 months back in power, Donald has violated court orders, he's defied congressional statutes, he has used executive power to punish his enemies, and he has promised worse and more. Quote, he has refused to pass other laws for the accommodation of large districts of people unless those people would relinquish the right of representation in the legislature, unquote. Donald's big abominable bill strips Medicaid from millions of people. It guts food assistance. It punishes entire communities. Why? Because apparently obscenely wealthy people and corporations don't want to pay their fair share of taxes. This bill chooses retribution over representation. Quote, he has made judges dependent on his will alone, unquote. Under Donald, the Department of Justice and its lawyers have threatened judges, have undermined court rulings, have ignored judicial injunctions. Quote, he has kept among us in times of peace standing armies without the consent of our legislatures, unquote. Just last month, Donald Trump sent the National Guard into California, federalizing the National Guard of a state that should have been in control of that state's governor, but it was done without that governor's consent and without congressional approval, which is exactly what our founders feared. The Trump regime, following the 2025 roadmap, has eliminated the Office for Civil Rights and Civil Liberties at the Department of Homeland Security. It has dismantled the journalism firewall protecting Voice of America reporters and replaced it with One America News. It has banned rainbow flags and Black Lives Matter flags from U.S. embassies. It has revoked non-discrimination protections for trans Americans and healthcare. It has authorized the Department of Justice to subpoena journalists and to contract to so-called woke companies, universities, and governments that don't comply with Donald's agenda. It is in the process of continuing to criminalize DEI programs, even after a federal judge ruled that violates civil rights law. It has banned fetal and stem cell research, even when it could lead to cures for diseases like Parkinson's, diabetes, and spinal injuries. None of this is about policy. This, as I said, is about retribution. This is what the founders meant when they said, quote, a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing invariably the same object evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, unquote. This July 4th feels different from many that have come before. Donald has betrayed every single one of these founding principles, and there are far too many other people to mention who have joined him in that effort. He is not preserving the Union. He does not believe in the Union. He does not believe in democracy. He is a traitor who is trying to burn it all down to protect his fragile ego. The Declaration of Independence ends with this warning, quote, a prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be the ruler of a free people, unquote.